Hey everyone, it's Tim with Broken Dice. This is going to be turn one of my solo wargaming campaign between the Saxons and the Vikings. I don't know how much of a campaign, it's just a one-off game. It's so cold outside, I don't feel like going out and doing much. And so I just need to, roll some dice and get these freshly painted models on the table and see what happens. Which we all know with freshly painted models, they die quickly. So let's see what happens. So first off, we're going to roll some dice for initiative. So you get the first turn, and the gray dice represents the Vikings, and the red dice represent the Saxons. All right, so it seemed like the Vikings have got the first part of the first turn. The initiative has been won by the Vikings. Blah blah blah. But anyway, let's issue some orders and see what happens. Okay, so the Vikings won the roll for initiative, so we rolled for orders and to see what would happen. And as I mentioned in my intro video, I've done some cards up to add a little more difficulty for my units. And so what I have done is I've made these cards up, and I issue them prior to orders, face down, so I don't know what they are. And then during the orders phase, for the Vikings, I will turn them up so they can utilize them during their orders phase. So, the Viking Generals card is We Defy You. One of your units gets the Brave Special rule for one turn. And then the other card for the Sub-Commander was Blunder Never. They get to re-roll their blunder roll if they have one. And the other card was Blank, so that's not going to play much of a role. Now, we change these cards up every turn, so I can't make adjustments for knowing what they are. So since no one is in combat this turn, no blunders were rolled by that sub-commander, so that brings us to the end of the first turn. And this commander over here, he failed his roll to get his units moving, so pretty short first phase for the Vikings. So let's swing it around to my side of the table for the Saxons, and let's see what happens over there. Well, on the Saxon side of the table, the most important role will be to see if this army general gets his units moving and gets them closer to the battlefield on this first turn. So let's roll a dice and let's see what we get. An 11. That's a failure. Okay, it's not a blunder, but it's a failure. So the Army General must still be organizing his troops. So let's move on down to the sub-commanders and see what they're going to be doing. So I really want to get this division moving, maybe get some advantage and take care of some business early on against these Vikings. So let's roll and see what if we can pass our orders and get this unit moving. So he's going to order his entire division to advance. I rolled a 7, so he's an 8, so they get one move. Doesn't feel like anybody's being very aggressive here. And this other sub-commander, let's just move on down. Okay, same thing here. Let's roll. See what we got going on. Another 7, so one more move. So I'm going to pause it, move the troops, and then we will swing back to the Viking side. All right, so at the end of turn 1, everybody's just that could moved up 1. So now we're going to roll for initiative again. I like doing this when I play in solo wargaming, so I can't get into that overly planned idea when I'm playing in the game, kind of more reactionary to all the special circumstances that come up in a game. So let's roll for some initiative here. All right. Remember that the gray dice are the Vikings, the red dice are for the Saxons. The Vikings win the initiative again. Let's get to the orders phase. We'll divvy out some more cards and see what they are, and then we will make some moves. Okay, let's issue some order rules for this subdivision. Subdivision commander, he's going to roll. Rolled a 1, so he passed it by 3. So they're going to advance to contact, obviously. I mean, what else would you do in the Dark Ages? And so for the, let's swing over here. This subdivision commander, we're going to roll for him. He's going to do the same. They're going to advance. Roll to 3. So each division makes 3 moves. Now, let's go over the the armies here just a little bit before we get into combat that's going to happen here fairly quickly. Okay, so on my Viking left, we have 2 Bondi division units. We have a Thane unit, and then we have the General's Huscarl unit. And this is the Army General here. He's with that unit. I do that in this for this time period because it seems accurate to where that general would be stationed with his best troops and not being able to, run around the battlefield issuing all kinds of orders. And so let's move the camera to the right, and then again we have Bondi unit, and then 2 units of Thanes, and 1 with this little square unit back here. These are Berserkers, and so they have that wild fighter special rule in the first turn of combat. And once that's done, I will be removing that little base. It's just a reminder that that's what they've got there. I have thought about making that like a separate unit, making it like a tiny unit, but giving it all kinds of special stuff, like wild fighter, tough fighter, elite, and all that kind of stuff. But it's just as easy just to stick with the basic rules that don't get too crazy, and just put it where it indicates that they are in that unit for this first turn. Okay, so now that we've done the orders, let's see what the mystery cards are that can be issued to these units before we move, because some of these may affect the combat. With this division, we are here to help, +1 dice to support units. Oh, that would be awfully nice. Okay, so if any unit that's fighting and support gets +1 dice. Because to see what the Army General has. Now the Army General, he can the way I do this, that this Army General can give this to whatever unit he wants to. So I may roll a dice to see which unit gets this. Okay, Aggressive Spirit. One of your units gains +1 clash dice on the charge. Well, we know what's going to get that one. That's going to go right there. And on the far, that's the Army General's card. So I can double up cards on these units too. All right. Uh-oh. This card's funny. This order makes no sense. The opponent must re-roll 1 successful order, individual or division. If the individual re-roll order fails, the commander can issue orders to other units in the division. If the division order fails, the division commander may issue individual orders. So basically what this does, it penalizes the Saxons then. So he's going to hold on to this card for my orders phase, and then after the end of the turn we would lose this. So this sub-commander can use this card when I make a successful order, individual or division. But this is only like if I make it, it only can make it like a failed division order. But then if I fail the division, I can actually try to go ahead and issue an individual order. But you know how difficult that is when you got several units and you're trying to issue those orders. Eventually you're going to fail one. So it's not too debilitating, but it can be. But you can also overcome it a little bit with a little luck. So that's kind of why I wrote that up this way. All right, so let's leave that one down. We'll decide which poor Saxon commander has to face that on their turn. So let's pause it here, move some units, and we'll get ready for some combat. Okay, we got all the units moved up. Not looking good for my Saxons. I'm telling you that right now. Not looking good at all. Um, with being able to do 3 moves this far left division for the Vikings, along with the Huskarls and the General, and yeah, I'm going to need some real luck on my rolls and some bad luck on theirs. Okay, now the card for the sub-commander, obviously, it affects my orders phase, so that one doesn't get played right now. But the other one has aggressive spirit, which means they get +1 to their clash, which is, whew, for Vikings, it's going to be really tough to hold on against this. So let's roll some combat dice. So we have on our, we'll just go with the Creels first. They've got 1 unit in supports, which gives them 3 dice. And because they are Vikings, and I gave them +1 to their clash, so they will be a 7, I do believe. Let me look at my little card and make sure. Yeah, they will have a 7 on the clash. So for a total of 10 dice. But I got to remember that the support dice doesn't hit the same as the clash. I believe. Let me look that up, because I haven't played in a while. So I'm going to check that rule for just a second. Yeah, I wanted to make sure on that rule, that rule, because I haven't read it in a while. So yeah, they do not get the bonus for charging into combat. So they have 3 dice. They will be the white dice, and they will be hitting on 4 pluses, where the unit engaged will be needing 3 pluses, and they are the gray dice. Well, let's see what we got here. All right, so with supports and everything, they got 5 hits. They divide points of damage. Let's see if my 6 save can save any of these for my Creel units. We saved 2, so we only take 3. That's pretty good. So let me put a red dice out here for, oh, sorry, bump the table and the camera. Alrighty, so coming back, the things, hold on, let me get the right colored dice for them. Alright, so the Saxon forces, they have 6 dice in the clash, and so they're going to need 4 pluses. They hit twice. And the Viking forces need 6 to save. No save, so they take 2. Alright. Alright, so it looks like a break test coming for the Saxons. And then, alright, big combat coming up right now. Alright, so we have, for the Vikings, we have the Thane unit, supported by Huskarls, which is, I just can't even imagine how bad this is going to be, unless I roll poorly for them. Okay, so these big dice right here will represent the actually he only has 2, so that's going to be the sub-commander's dice. Then we have the unit 7. Let's see, 6, 7. Okay, now they have the tough fighter special rule, and then the Huskarls. They have a support of 3, and I will use white dice to represent them. So the grays need 3. Everything else needs 4 pluses. Well, actually, the brown dice will need 3s as well because he's in the combat with them. All right. Well, he's not much of a Viking. He didn't hit at all. 2 supports hit. Ooh. Okay. Good thing they were charging in, and I get to re-roll 1 because they are tough fighters. Okay. So we have a total of 2, 6, 7 hits. And so the Saxons will need 7. Yeah, 7 dice. They will need 4 pluses to save. Oh, that's bad. That's bad for me. Wow. Nary a 1. Well, they are stubborn, so they do get to re-roll 1 of those. Hey, they saved 1. So they take 6 damage regardless, which makes them shaken. Wow, that's going to hurt coming back. Oof. All right, so let's put a shaken marker out there for them. Great. Just great. All right. Oh, I guess I didn't roll my general support dice, because he's with that unit as well. So he would need 4s. Just 1 more. And we'll roll for them to save that one, and they did not. So they've taken 7 damage. So coming back, shaken, the Saxons will have 7 dice plus 2 big dice for the character that's in there, the sub-commander. Oh boy. And because they're shaken, wow, that means that everybody needs a 5 plus. We need a big roll here. Well, could be worse. That was a miss. All right. So we've got 4. And they're tough fighters, so they also get to re-roll. Oh, that's a 4. So they get to re-roll 1 more. Nope. So they've done 5 to the Vikings. So let's roll and see if the Vikings save. Now what I normally do is, like, the majority of the wounds and everything will go towards the combat unit, and anything over that will go to supports. So the Vikings take 3, so the combat unit would take 1. Oh, the combat unit would take 2, and the supports would take 1. All right. So we've got 2 there, 1 here. Oh, I did not add that extra clash, so let's roll that extra clash dice. Okay, it's a miss, so never mind then on that card. It could have had some disastrous effects. Well, anyway, now we need to roll for characters. All right, So we have the sub-commander, and the general is in that unit. And the general, he added 3 attacks, so he's really in danger. And the sub-commander added 2 attacks. Might lose somebody here. I do not. And the sub-commander for the Saxons, he's in that combat, so let's just see if he survived. Yes, he survived as well. So now we just take break tests for my Saxon forces. Alrighty, let me get the appropriate dice here. Alright, let's just, my little pointer here. Let's just roll for this combat here. The Saxon forces lost by 1, so let's roll a dice here on the break chart. I rolled a 3, great. Lost by 1, makes it a 2. So that means that they are just, ah boy, they're broken. Okay. So we'll take care of that move later, because I assume that the victorious Vikings are going to, recklessly advance into the next unit. And then we'll go here. Now my Thane unit is shaken. So, and they lost by 3. An 11. So an 11 minus 3 would be 8. Hold your ground without penalty. That is very lucky for me. Very, very lucky indeed. So let's clean up the table here. We're going to move the victorious Viking units probably forward and engage the second line of Saxon troops. And then we'll move on to the Saxon phase. Okay, well, since my far right division is all in combat anyway, so the only one to issue orders to do anything is this division right here. So we're going to issue orders for the division to move forward and engage the Vikings, with this unit moving in to support the Thanes against these 2 units here. Okay, let's see if we can't get this done. I have to remember that over here on this far side over in this combat, they've got that card that I can, if I, let me reread that. I wrote this down. If I succeed in this order, then I have to re-roll it. And if I fail it, then I can do, if it's an individual order, then I can try to make a division order out of it, but I can't, that unit is done. Okay, so let's, hopefully I can get through this. Well, I'm just going to keep the camera here on, I don't know, let's move over to the Saxon side of the table, shall we? All right, I think that one order card I wrote up is going to really be a pain for me. All right, so he's going to issue his orders. Obviously, the things are going to go into combat. The Bondi to their right is going to move into support, and this unit is going to attack that unit there. Okay, that is successful. Okay, so now, according to the card, whoa, wait a minute, I don't even know if I can pull that out there far enough. Okay, I'm going to have to re-roll a successful individual or division order. If the individual re-roll order fails, the commander can issue orders to other units in the division. If the division order fails, the division commander may issue individual orders. Okay, so that's where it gets tricky, because I issued a division order. So now I have to re-roll it. If I fail it, then I can try to give individual orders. But see, that breaks up your you know, you get maybe one or two successes and then fail the others. So let me do my reroll. Okay, so I'm successful. So that card goes away. And let's move our units up, and then we will roll some combat dice. Okay, let's roll some dice for some combat. We got this one right here. So my girls moved in. They have, let's see, 6 on the clash. Oh, long dice. 3, 4, 5, 6. Needing 3 pluses to hit. Then they're going to need all the help they can get. Okay, and they have no special rules, so they hit 4 times. Okay. So the Vikings, saving on 4s. They take 3. Good going. I think that's about the best I could hope for those guys. All right. Now coming back, this is going to get ugly. Ugly indeed. All right. Okay, so the Vikings, they will have 7. Let's see. Pick up the dice, Tim. Pick up the dice. Plus, well, they don't have a commander or anything, so just those 7 dice. Plus, but they got the wild fighter and tough fighter. So yeah, they're going to get to re-roll 4 dice in this. My guys better get real lucky. Okay. All right. So, ooh, I did get lucky. They only hit twice. So I get to re-roll 4 of those. And at the end of this, I will take off that stand of berserkers. So re-rolling these. Okay, so 2 more hits. So they hit 4 times. All right, so my Saxons need a 6+ save. Nope, and they took 4 damage. All right, that's not too bad. All right, so now let's go to this combat here. It's going to be very important. All right, so we'll take out the gray dice. And so I think they have 7, and they have the tough fighter rule as well. 4, 6, 7, plus 2 dice from the sub commander. Figure this out. All right. You probably couldn't see that roll I was doing earlier. Okay. So 3 plus. Oh. And then I got 3 dice that I'll need to roll for the supports. Let's just roll these first. Oh, that's so dumb. Why did I roll that? Okay. All right. So 2, 4. There's 5. Plus I get to re-roll 1 for tough fighter. Okay, so that's a total of 6. And now these 3 need 4 pluses and only 1. Okay, so we hit them 7 times. Okay. We'll see if the Vikings save on a 4 plus. Ooh. They take 3. So that would be 2 for the combat unit, and 1 for supports. All right. My chance to hold on here. All right. The Vikings coming back. They will have their base 7 plus 2 for the sub-commander, and then they're going to have, instead of 3, because of the card, they get to add 1 more dice to their supporting attacks. Wow. Alright, so let's roll all these dice. And the big dice and the gray dice everybody needs 4s. That's right, everybody needs 4s. Everyone needs 4s. Okay, so let's roll these. Alright. So, nope. And nope. And nope. Okay, that and no. And then, so we have a total of what? 5 plus Tough Fighter reroll. Nope. Alright, so the Saxons take 5. See if they can save. And they saved 3, took 2, so that's 1 on the combat unit and 1 on the supports. Okay. So my Saxons actually won, but now we have to roll for our sub-commanders because they added dice. So we are going to roll white dice for the Saxons, gray dice for the Vikings, since they both added 2, so it's 11 and 12. Neither one, so both sub-commanders are good to go. All right, so let's move on down to the other division and see what we can do here. Okay, first mistake. This combat should have been fought on the Vikings turn because this was a sweeping advance. I didn't do that. So let's go ahead and fight this combat. They count as charging, so we'll roll some dice for that, and then we'll start with the actual Saxon turn. Okay, so we have 7 attacks. And then 3 supporting attacks. Okay, so the big dice need 4s, and the gray dice need 3s. All right, and so no supports hit. They must be tired. And 3 hits. All right. Saving on 6s. No saves. So they take 3. Fighting back. This is their clash, so their clash is only 6. In ongoing combats, they would get 7, but so far they haven't been able to hang in there. So coming back, they need 4s to hit. Oh, well, they hit 4 times. And so the Vikings need to save 4. They saved 1. They took 3. So that, my friends, is a drawn combat. Wow. Okay. So, hold on, I need some more red dice. Okay, so now we're actually caught up. So, now this is the actual Saxon turn on this end of the table. So, let's go with my Thanes here. Even though they're shaken, maybe they can make some noise here. Okay, so they have 7 attacks. Plus 2 from their sub-commander. Needing 5s. Oh my. But they do get Tough Fighter. They get the reroll. Okay, so they hit 3 times. The Vikings. Save on a 4. Oh. Wow. Interesting. So the Vikings take 3 this turn. So I'll just set this red dice out here to show that that's what they've taken. All right. So coming back, the Vikings will have 7 plus 2 from their their sub-commander. We'll roll those, and then we'll roll the dice for the supports. Yeah. 4 plus. Okay. Nope. Nope. But they do have Tough Fighter. Okay. So that's 6. And then 3 more for supports. 1 more, so that's a total of 7. And, oh yeah, the Army General, he's supporting, so it's a total of 8. Wow. 8. Okay, we need 4 pluses. Big roll here. Oh my. And we're stubborn, so we get to re-roll one of those misses. So we've saved 5. We know we're going to take 2. This is the big one. This is the one. 4 plus. So we only take 2. We win the combat. So we did 3 to them. They've done 2 to us. So we'll put this 2 here. And we get 2, 4. Where's the number 4? 4 and 2. But because we're shaken, we still have to take the obligatory break test. So everybody could run off. All right. Black dice, Saxons. Red dice, Vikings. Oh, no. Sorry. Gray dice, Vikings. And the Vikings subtract 1. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Since the Viking general is in there, can he re-roll that? Let's see. Let's check the book and let's see if he can re-roll that. Well, I just looked in the rule book. They can re-roll orders. This says nothing about re-rolling this break test. Now, I have cards in the stack that would allow that, but we all know rolling a 1 and losing by 1, there's, so we need, oh, I know what we need to do. So the sub-commander and his unit are destroyed. Now, don't we have to roll again for supports to see if they're destroyed? Right? Hold on a second. So I was right. The supporting unit with the Army General needs to take a separate break test. So let's see what happens to my Saxons too. So we'll save that. This roll is for the Viking General and his supporting unit of Huskarls. 7, which becomes a 6. Okay. Okay, wow. That's interesting. Okay. Let's see what the results are. Oh, a little side note here. I had to roll for my Saxon Army General to see if he showed up. He passed his order by 3 and made 3 moves. So there he is. So the Vikings having down a Thane unit. This is not good. I might have something going on here. So we will see what happens in the top. Well, actually, whoever gets initiative in turn 3. So I need to take off that unit of Berserkers now that it's over with. It's been used up. So I will be back here in a second with some orders. Okay, we're ready for turn 3. So I'm going to roll for some initiative and let's see what happens. All right, so coming up, remember, black dice are Saxons, gray dice are the Vikings, and the Saxons win the roll. So the first thing we want to do is issue some orders, and let's just turn the camera up a little bit. Oh, I hate it when I show my books and stuff on the table. Get that out of the way. Get that out of the way. There's the Saxon general behind the buildings on his way. So let's roll to see what I can do with them. Okay? I rolled a blunder. Oh my God, and I've already used his order reroll. Oh dear God. Of course. Of course. All right. So let's see. On the die 6. What happens? A 6. Okay. I'll have to look it up. Hold on a second. Well, I couldn't have asked for anything better than that because that means uncontrollable advance. So they can make 3 moves. I think that they can move up to the edge of the hill and prepare to charge next turn. I don't think it would be... Let me see. Because they're really not... They're kind of in column. And so they really would have to move their full distance and deploy. So let's... How would I do this? Yeah, I'll move the Army General, and we'll move up to this edge of the hill. That seems more appropriate, and then organize their troops ready for to engage in the combat next turn. Okay, So we know what then happened there. Well, my shaken unit, it can't do anything. So that's about all the moving. I'll move my army general up, and then we'll be ready for some combat. All right, so I've moved my Saxon general to the top of the hill with the Krittles in support, and then we will do some combats. And I think we'll just start right here and go left to right. All right, let's break out some dice. Okay, doing this combat right here. As I mentioned in my intro, I moved a point of morale away from my Creoles and Bondi units because these are like these Dark Age warriors from Gripping Beasts, and they're not modeled with any armor on them, so they just have the shield. So I took the morale away and then gave the Vikings a +1, so they're on their clash, and then on the sustain for the Saxons. So they're having 7 in this turn of in the sustained in this ongoing combat. So they'll need 4s. No, actually they'll need 3s because they won. No, they lost the combat last time, so they need 4s. Oh, they did good. So they hit 5 times, and the Vikings will need 5 saves, saving on 4s. So they save 2. Oh, so that makes them shaken. Take that off. So coming back, the Vikings will have 7. Being shaken now, they'll need 5 pluses, right? So they hit 3 times. So all the Creoles have to do is make 1 save and they win the combat. No, they don't. All right, so now they have become shaken as well. Though the amount of damage is the same, so both units will have to take a break test. So moving on to here. Hold on just a second. I got phone calls coming in. Hold on. All right, so this combat here in the center, since the Saxons won this combat last time, they'll need 3s to hit. So we have, except for the sports, obviously they'll need 4s, but the Saxon troops, along with their commander, that would be 9 attacks. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. And then we'll roll 3 more for the supports, needing 4s. Okay. So they only missed twice, but we need 1 re-roll for Tough Fighter. Okay, so that's 4. There's 8 hits. Okay. 4, 6, 8. All right, then the oh, I didn't roll for the 3 supports for them. 4 plus, 1 more. Okay, 4 plus. Okay, so they took 5. So we split that up. 3 and 2. So now they are at 5. Where's the number 5? There's the number 5. And they are now at 3. And they had taken a total of 5 damage. Well, let's use a gray dice for them. Okay, so the Vikings took 5 points of damage. And so the Vikings fighting back, they will have 7, 3, 10, plus 2 from the commander. 3, 6, 9, 10, and 2 for the commander. Sub commander. And let's see, they need 4s. Well, that's not very good. Okay. And they get a reroll. Okay, so they hit 5 times. So the Saxons need to save 5. They only saved 2. So they took 3, which would make these. So 2, so make it out of 3. This a 2. Where you at? Go. And the Saxons took 3. All right. So let's go on down here to the very far right of the Saxon line. Hold on, let's move the camera be better. All right, let's do this combat here. So my grills have a sustain of 7. 7. Since they won the combat last time, they hit on a 3. Oh. There's 6. Yikes. 6. Here we go. They saved 1 but took 5. So that would be 3 on them, so that makes them shaken. 2 on them, which makes that 4. Okay, coming back. So they have 6. That'll need 5s for being shaken. They hit once. And then 3 from the supports, needing 4s. So they hit twice. Saves, needing 6s to save. Saved 1, so we take 1. That's a 4. Wow, so we win the combat by 4 on this one. So So we got a break test, and two break tests over here for the two shattered units that are slugging it out. Okay. Vikings here need to take a break test. That's what is it? 9. Okay. We had 5. Okay. So, well, much to my chagrin, that's terrible. I was kind of hoping for something a little bit better than that, but that makes it an 8. And infantry, hold your ground without penalty. Terrific. But at least I didn't break them. And then over here towards, let's just move the camera. Here we are. So we're going to be taking the Viking break test here. They lost the combat by 2. I'm surprised about this. All right. Really? Really? A 4? Now I kind of feel like I'm cheating. I'm getting such good dice rolls. So a 4 minus 2 is a 2. Okay. All right, so they break. Now we roll for the supporting unit. They break as well. Wow. Wow. I just don't see any sense in dragging this out. This has turned out horrible. Ban? Okay. So that would take out 2, 3. That would only leave like 1, 2, 3, 4 units. And one of those is shaken. So I think maybe we might just end this one. Wow, that turned out in my favor really quickly. I thought the cards would have a much greater effect, but it really didn't. Maybe if the Vikings had gotten another turn, dice had went a little bit better. I don't know. But yeah, that winning in round of combat and just needing 3s in subsequent rounds, that really makes it a meat grinder. But yeah, I'm sure I made some sort of mistakes. If you could think of a mistake I've made in this one, please put the comments down below. But yeah, with oops, just knocked over a piece of terrain. With these 2 units now destroyed, yeah, that only leaves those 2 Bondi units on the far end over there, the general's unit, this shaken unit. So yeah, I just think, plus I've got my Saxon general on the hill ready to come down. So yeah, I think we'll just go ahead and call this one. It's been kind of fun. Been a while since I've done a game like this, so I'm sure I've made some mistakes. If you caught me doing something, leave a comment down below. This brings us to the end of this game. It was kind of fun. I think I'll do something else and see if these Vikings can't make a comeback. All right, everybody stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you next time.